name is Janine Driver. There's a little bit of an echo in here because I just finished a presentation here in Washington, D.C. I'm the New York Times bestselling author of the book You Say More Than You Think. I'm also a body language expert for shows such as Larry King Live, The Today Show, and Dr. Oz, a whole bunch. But you know what? That's not what I care about. What I care about is my mom. My mom is a nurse at a hospital, and she recently was diagnosed with breast cancer. And it was fascinating for me and disheartening to see her journey through meeting with the surgeons. Because what we found out is that the body language in some situations actually increased anxiety and stress in my mom. One of the surgeons talked to my mother with a palm down hand gesture. This is talk to the hand. This is pushing her away. They sat my mom on that table, you know, that toilet paper covered table. This is a special message for the medical industry, so I know you guys know what I'm talking about. And they sat my mom there, which was great, except the surgeon stood up above my mother. My mother already feels like the whole world is collapsing on her. Why? Because her brother died of lung cancer a couple years ago, her mother died of bone cancer, and her father died of throat cancer. So my mom heard that C word. It's a death sentence in our family. She was terrified. So this first surgeon, Swan Hospital outside of Boston, Massachusetts, the surgeon's talking down to my mother standing over her. Turns her back to my mom, my dad, myself, and my two sisters. We're all there. Turns her back as she starts to look at the x-ray. And then even says, look at this is the tumor and it's quite massive. And her back is to us. Now, this actually increased my mom's anxiety when we left, and I said, you know what, I need to do more programs with the medical world. I've spoken with other medical associations, I've worked with some hospitals, but I really want to dive in deeper with the medical professionals, because your bedside manner, how you're talking to people, even micro expressions can say a lot. Now, we went to another hospital, and I'll share that name, and that name is Mass General, and there was a doctor there named Dr. Barbara Smith. Dr. Barbara Smith, if you Google her, is extraordinary. She went to MIT to get the science behind breast cancer. She's a Harvard grad, and she, in her 20s and teens, used to be a seamstress. So her stitches are seamless, like the stitch on a clothes. Well, Dr. Barbara Smith was amazing. She had my mom on that same toilet paper covered table, but she had one of those low stools, and I know all of you doctors have them in your office, and she lowered the stool. And guess what she did? She looked up at my mother. As she sat on the stool, she looked up at my mother and she said, Lorraine, I want to tell you a little bit about how we work at Mass General. We work with a group approach. We do this. And she did this open palm gesture, looking up at my mother. It was the first moment in the month that we had gone through of finding out she had cancer to actually meeting with medical professionals. It was the first moment that I knew my mom was going to be in safe hands. What's your body language say to your patients? Does it increase anxiety? Does it decrease anxiety? Whether you're a nurse, whether you're a doctor, whether you're a pharmacist, whoever you are, if you're a medical professional, you know, how are you conveying? Does your body language increase things, increase stress, or is it decreasing stress? You know, I want to tell one last story. Micro-expressions. One of my specialties is micro-expressions. That show Lie to Me on Fox, they talk about micro-expressions. But I bring it to the medical institutions, the medical world. For instance, you say to your patient, you have high blood pressure. I'm going to give you a high blood pressure medicine, but are you on Viagra? Well, he's 34 years old. He doesn't want to admit that he's on Viagra. So he says no. And you look at him and you go, well, I just want to let you know, if you are on Viagra, that if I give you this medicine, you take it, you will die. Because people have died by lying about taking Viagra. And he still continues to lie. But what you might not have noticed is he did a little micro-expression, a 15th of a second of fear. Why is he fearful? It's not to you to ask that powerful question. Maybe I'm wrong here. Ask this probing question. These are the same questions I taught the FBI, CIA, Scotland Yard Police when I worked as a federal law enforcement officer with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, ATF, with the Justice Department. The same thing. Spot this emotion, ask a powerful question, and then make your decision. So maybe I'm wrong here. It seems to me that you're a little fearful right now. Where's the doctor when I need one? I'm sick. So maybe I'm wrong here. It seems to me you're a little fearful right now. Uh-oh, I know I'm supposed to cough in my cuff. Sorry, docs. All right, make a long story short, maybe they're fearful, maybe your patient's fearful, not because he's taken Viagra, maybe he's just fearful because his dad had high blood pressure at 30-something years old. Got on medicine and died of a heart attack. My name's Janine Driver. Please check me out, JanineDriver.com. I hope that I'll get to be in front of you and share my wonderful techniques that, as I said, are documented in my book, You Say More Than You Think. It's a New York Times bestseller. All right, thanks everybody. Thanks for what you do. You're extraordinary. You are saving lives. We're just going to help you save even more by being able to separate fact from fiction when your patients are lying to you. It's not your fault that they're lying to you. It's their fault. But I'm going to teach you techniques to get around it.